The ancient soil secret that outperforms biochar. Most gardeners are throwing away the one amendment that could transform their worst soil into a thriving growing paradise in a single season. While biochar dominates every regenerative gardening forum and costs a fortune per bag, there's an ancient material sitting in fireplaces and wood stoves across the country that delivers faster results, feeds your soil immediately, and costs absolutely nothing. Wood ash has been quietly reviving exhausted gardens for centuries, and once you understand how to use it correctly, you'll wonder why you ever bothered with expensive amendments in the first place. Why wood ash works faster than biochar. Here's the fundamental difference that changes everything. Biochar acts like an empty sponge. It's fantastic for long-term soil structure and holding onto nutrients once they're there, but by itself, it brings almost nothing to the table nutritionally. It's inert until you charge it with compost, manure, or microbial inoculants, which means you're essentially buying soil architecture rather than actual plant food. You need to wait seasons for biochar to become truly useful. Wood ash is the complete opposite. When hardwood burns completely, what remains is a concentrated powder packed with instantly available calcium, potassium, phosphorus, and trace minerals like zinc and magnesium. These minerals are already in soluble form, meaning your plants can access them immediately. Think of it this way, ash is what biochar wants to become after a few seasons of microbial charging, except ash starts there from day one. It's nature's instant recycling system, returning minerals directly back to the earth in the exact form plants can use. For acidic or compacted soils, this difference becomes even more dramatic. Wood ash doesn't just feed plants, it transforms soil chemistry and texture almost overnight, something biochar simply cannot do without extensive preparation and time. The right way to use wood ash without destroying your garden. This is where most gardeners make critical mistakes. Wood ash is powerful, which means too much becomes destructive rather than helpful. The high calcium carbonate content raises pH rapidly, and if you dump it on blindly, you'll lock out essential nutrients and kill the microbial life you're trying to support. For standard garden beds, the safe application rate is roughly 1 cup per square meter. If you're working with raised beds, you'll want to mix approximately 1 quart of ash into every 25 to 30 gallons of topsoil. This amount, honestly, neutralizes acidity without shocking your soil biology or creating nutrient imbalances that, could take years to correct. Timing matters just as much as quantity. Apply wood ash in fall or early winter, never during active growing seasons. During those cooler, wetter months, the ash has time to mellow and integrate properly into your soil profile. Rainfall helps wash soluble salts deeper into the ground, and by spring, what remains is a mineral-enriched pH-balanced foundation that encourages earthworm activity and, honestly, explosive root expansion. If you apply it during hot weather or when plants are in active growth, you'll end up burning plant roots and shocking those beneficial microbes in your soil. Honestly, patience here pays massive dividends. The supercharged compost method really does change everything. This is where wood ash becomes, truly remarkable for building healthy soil. Instead of just applying ash on its own, try combining it with compost or even leaf mold before spreading it out. Alright, so you want to mix 1 part ash with 5 parts compost, then let that mixture sit for about 2 to 3 weeks. After that, you can spread it across your beds. This technique actually does 2 critical things at the same time. So, first off, it buffers the ash's alkalinity, which helps prevent those sudden pH spikes that can actually harm your plants, and second, it really supercharges your compost with minerals, making sure that nutrients don't just wash away during heavy rains. The end product acts kinda like a natural mineral humus feeding your plants and, at the same time, stabilizing nitrogen while encouraging those deep microbial networks to thrive all throughout your soil. For gardeners who are dealing with exhausted beds that have been cropped hard for years, this combination can honestly reverse depletion in just a single season. The calcium in ash acts as a soil flocculant, binding fine clay particles into crumbly aggregates that hold both air and water more effectively. Meanwhile, potassium salts feed the microbial colonies responsible for decomposition and humus formation. When these microbes thrive, organic matter breaks down faster and nutrients become exponentially more available. This is genuine soil regeneration, not just temporary feeding. Choosing the right ash makes all the difference. Not every ash delivers the same results. Hardwood ash from oak, maple, or fruit trees provides the most nutrient-dense and balanced amendment for garden use. These woods produce fine, grayish-white ash with high mineral purity. Softwood ash from pine or fir contains more resin residues and lighter mineral content, making it less effective for long-term soil building. Never use ash from treated wood, painted lumber, or charcoal briquettes. These materials introduce toxic compounds that can sterilize your soil and harm plants for years. So, before you use your ash, make sure to check its quality. Fine, light-colored ash is a sign of complete combustion, which means it's high quality and ready for your garden. Now, if you notice your ash is dark and chunky, that means it still contains unburned carbon, which can temporarily tie up nitrogen in your soil. If your ash looks like this, it's better to mix it into your compost first, instead of applying it directly to your garden beds. Let's talk about some practical applications for different growing situations. For in-ground gardens, especially if you're dealing with compacted or acidic soil, start by loosening the top 6 inches. Then sprinkle your measured wood ash evenly across the surface, and layer it with compost or shredded leaves at that crucial 1:5 ratio. So, just water lightly to settle everything in and, activate that mineral exchange. In beds that have suffered from heavy feeding or nutrient leaching, you'll actually see a transformation within just a few weeks. Container gardeners, you'll need to scale down significantly. Mix 1 tablespoon of wood ash per gallon of potting soil and always combine it with compost or worm castings. This creates a mineral base that feeds your vegetables and herbs through multiple growth cycles, all without relying on synthetic fertilizers. The key is really consistency and moderation, not heavy applications. Closing the loop on garden fertility is, honestly, something we should all aim for. Modern gardening often spends fortunes on bottled amendments while, at the same time, discarding wood ash as waste. But here's the thing. Ash actually embodies true regenerative principles: reuse, balance, and mineral restoration. When you burn fallen branches, pruning waste, or orchard trimmings, what you're really doing is converting them into concentrated soil supplements. These supplements go on to restore exactly what those trees once extracted from the ground. No other amendment matches this cycle of return so cleanly or affordably. Wood ash remains the faster, more accessible soil rescuer for gardeners who understand moderation and timing. It revives exhausted beds, corrects pH problems, feeds earthworms, and restores trace minerals lost through constant cropping. Before buying another expensive soil booster, look at what's left after your last wood fire. It's one of nature's oldest and most efficient fertilizers, hiding in plain sight. If you found this guide valuable, subscribe to Crop Corner for more practical methods that rebuild soil health naturally. Share this with fellow gardeners who burn firewood or prune trees, because what most people discard might be exactly what brings their garden back to life.